What's up? I'm Matt McMeem, Oregon resident, Oregon native, born and raised in the great state of Oregon, and I figured, why not just make a video, giving some travel tips, some things to keep in mind if you're ever visiting our fair land. Stuff to maybe check out, maybe stuff to avoid that you might be interested in if it ends up as not actually that good. Just give you kind of an overall tourism, that kind of thing perspective. Because Oregon, let's face it, probably probably the best state in the United States, if we're going to be honest with ourselves. If you really think about it, better state, probably one does not exist. All right, Oregon's got weed. It's pretty, there's lots of nice mountains and forests and stuff. A lot of diversity. You got these nice temperate forests. You got coastline. You got deserts. You got mountains all over the place. It's very nice. The people, generally pretty chill. Good drivers. Pretty much everybody else I've ever seen from the United States, like, if you're driving on the freeway or something and somebody's got a license plate from another state, 8 times out of 10, that person's going to be a worse driver than the average Oregonian. So yeah, probably the best state. And as far as tourist destinations, well, probably the biggest one, most popular one, I suppose, would be Crater Lake. Although that isn't exactly, the greatest, for being a state's primary tourist attraction, it's not that big. But it's like a B list national park. Yeah, like Grand Canyon and Yellowstone and Yosemite, they're all up on the A list or whatever. But Crater Lake's pretty well known. Most people know what Crater Lake is. As far as visiting it goes, it is very cool. It is very pretty up there at Crater Lake, especially depending on what time of the year you go. If you go during the summer, it'll be really nice and sunny, I'm sure. Things will be gorgeous. The sun will glint off the water and stuff. It's a very, very idyllic place in the summer or spring. In the winter, it gets really fucking snowy up there. I remember one time I went up there in the winter and there was literally like 2 to 3 feet of snow that we fucked around in, and it was very cool. So there's that as well. Not a lot to it. Not a lot to the Crater Lake. There's lake itself, which is, like I said, pretty, but you spend like 5 to 10 minutes looking at it, and then you've probably gotten your fill. There's like a little I don't know what you'd call it, like a little educational building thing where they have different stuff telling you about, hey, here's how volcanoes work, here's how Crater Lake formed, that kind of stuff. Mildly interesting, but unless you're a big volcano nerd or something like that, probably not gonna enthrall you. And then there's the gift shop, which just has kind of whatever. All in all, I would say, do not go out of your way. I wouldn't go out of my way to visit it. But if you're in the area and it's not too much of a detour, I would definitely recommend it. Other stuff, you got the Oregon Caves. I don't actually know how famous the Oregon Caves are outside of Oregon, but they are definitely one of the few internal spots you go for like a day trip or something. Because Oregon is kind of big, but it's not super big. So it's like unless you live on like one of the poles, I guess, of east or west, probably only take a few hours from anywhere you are in Oregon to get there. So not too bad of a trip for most people. So that's why it's pretty popular among residents. It's pretty much just big caves. If you've ever gone to caves elsewhere, I mean, probably less exciting than those. Doesn't have any like fucking crazy, ridiculous formations or anything. Nothing out of this world, but still pretty cool. It's cool caves, There's stalactites, and you wander through it, and it's cold and damp and cool. It can get kind of tiring, because you are going on like a 2 hour like walk through this kind of rough, uneven cave. And there's bits where you got to squeeze through stuff and crouch down and that kind of thing. So it can be a bit of a hike. But it is pretty fun. You get a tour guide who tells you about all the shit. So if you're into geology or something, you might enjoy that. But it's pretty fun if you're into hiking around and stuff. It's enjoyable, I would say. This is one I know is not famous at all. That's the Oregon House of Mystery. And / the Oregon Vortex kind of rolled into one thing. Sorry, I had to rub my eye there with my hand that I'm using to hold my phone, which is why I kind of went like this. Oregon Vortex is a magnetic anomaly in Oregon, not dissimilar to the Bermuda Triangle, although much less powerful. But it's there. If you go there and you have a compass or something, it'll point the north toward the vortex instead of the North Pole. The House of Mystery is just like, I don't even know, but it's just like you have guides that'll take you around and they'll show you like a bunch of weird shit that happens because you're in the vortex. Like they like roll a bottle down, like because they take you in this little cabin and it's on a slant. They roll a bottle down it and then it like rolls back up and stuff like that. There's shit where like you're taller than you were outside of it or something. I don't remember. I only ever went to it once actually, and I was pretty little. But I remember being pretty cool. Probably only mildly cool if you are an adult. But, I mean, it's magnets and shit. That's how do they, ICP. We don't really have any, like, cultural... we don't really have any cultural tourist spots. I mean, Portland... You can just go around and find shit to do in Portland. We don't have, like, anything in particular to look at. But, there's just stuff going on at various times of the year. And you can just explore. Because Portland is pretty fun to explore. Just because there's so much wacky, kooky, crazy shit in it. Do not go to the coast of Oregon. At least most of it. There might be interesting places. Astoria, I imagine, has some cool shit in it because Astoria is like a pretty historically interesting place. But I've never been there. But most of it, unless you know for a fact that a place you're going on the coast has cool shit in it, Oregon coast probably not that good. It's very windy. It's very cold most of the time. The water is always cold. The beaches are usually just kind of rocky and stuff. So I mean, if you've ever gone to a warm water beach, you will not enjoy it. So I know personally, I went to the Oregon coast a shit ton. And then I went to Hawaii one time. I swam around in the ocean, and I have never been back. I don't think. No reason to. No reason to. Swimming in the ocean, you can't go back to fucking cold ass water after that. Eastern Oregon, in general, I mean, you know, it's a big piece of shit desert. There's some stuff you can do there, desert related activities, you can go on sand rail, stuff like that, fucking dune buggy or whatever, that kind of thing. So if you're into that, there's some good spots for that over there. Other than that, it's literally just a big empty flat desert for the most part. That's pretty much it. Actually, there's probably some stuff you can do at the Oregon Trail, I would imagine. Although I wouldn't even know what where you would go for that or what that would be like. I don't know of anything in specific about that actually, so I would imagine it's kind of shitty if such a thing existed. But you could probably look around for that if you were interested. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Not exactly tourist hub is Oregon, but it's a good place to live. Obviously, I mean the best thing to do in Oregon is just to smoke weed. Honestly, if you come from a state that is it's illegal in.